Well, we're home. We did it. The Lord helped a lot. Um, Everything has been well here. I unpacked everything, unlike last time, when my suitcase was still waiting to be unpacked a month later. This time, the suitcases are all empty. Everything is put away in the right place, and the suitcases are by the door to go back down into the storage room, the hobbit hole. And I cleaned up the yard a bit. There was 2 tarps down there, and I moved all the shovels and snow shovels and put them away. Hung up the snowshoes. It's looking much better out there. I did that yesterday. So I was just going to play Minecraft with my grandson. That's why I didn't make a video yesterday, is because he was busy playing Minecraft with me. We took a melatonin last night at bedtime. And I guess that resets your sleep cycle. Turns on your darkness cycle. Nighttime cycle. And so I slept really well, but it was really hard to wake up. And I stayed up late just to make sure that I want to get onto the right time change, you know. So as long as I stay doing that again tonight, I'll go tonight at bedtime, even though right now I could go to sleep. But it's only 1:30 in the afternoon. But you see, it's 7:30 in Holland time, and so I'm used to being in Holland, and so 8:30 or 9 I was ready for bed. So an hour and a half, really bedtime for the whole night. So I have to push my will against that and make myself stay up until it's really bedtime here. So a little cat nap won't do, because that will mess up my sleep thing. I don't usually take naps. So I guess thinking about that, then the fact that I'm sitting around feeling very tired, I shouldn't give in to it. I should go for a walk. I decided yesterday, I was out on my deck and looking up at the sky, and it got dark, and it was beautiful looking at the stars, or whatever I could see. And I decided to start labeling myself. I like to be out in the dark. I like stargazing. I get up at night, or I get outside in the dark. Because usually, once it's dark out, I'm inside. Well, of course, this has been winter also, which has been a big deal of that. But anyway, so I decided to rethink my time being in the house or outside, right? And not just go outside when it's daytime, but go outside when it's dark out. So I can enjoy it. It's really nice at night when you go outside. We used to go for walks in the dark all the time. We'd never take a flashlight. We'd walk down the road to the main highway, and then we'd walk down the highway, then we'd come back. We didn't usually go in the woods or anything, but you can always tell where the path is or where the road is, because if you look up, look at the sky, you'll see that there's trees on these sides, Well, that's a pretty big area that you have, and so you just sort of stay in the middle of it, and you'll be right on the middle of the road. I mean, that's fine if you're in the wilderness and there's nobody on the road, but if you're out there in a city and you do that, of course you don't need to walk at night in a city without worrying about darkness, because it's so lit up, you don't need a light. You don't have to take a flashlight out in the city at night, do you? No. A flashlight is also useful if you want to point out a certain star. Like renaming constellations, the constellations come and go. But if you can rename them, then they become yours. Like Willem has a few. One is Garden Hose. And then, Willem?
Yes?
What are the names of your constellations other than Garden Hose?
Garden Hose, Satellite Dish.
Satellite Dish.
I don't remember any other ones. There were some more, but...
Yeah, so anyway, make them yours. Unless you want to tell somebody else about them and have them try and figure out which constellation you're talking about. But the constellations are pretty cool. In the winter, you see different ones than in the summer. In the wintertime, the Big Dipper is a question mark. I kid you not. It goes like that. but then it's all rotating around the North Star, right? So your Big Dipper, the dipper point is always going to point toward north, but sometimes it's going to look like it's upside down, right? It's the way it is. It's called the ecliptic, I think. Well, the ecliptic is aligned around in the stars, that it's the direction everything moves. So the sun comes up and down, and the moon comes up and down, and the stars go around. And so it's all on on the ecliptic, I believe. Now, the Earth turning, anyway, the ecliptic is in a finite spot. It's always the same. If you look out there at a certain place, you'll see Virgo, and then you'll see Pisces, and then you'll see whatever comes next. I used to watch, in the middle of the night, I would see Leo. I loved Leo. He was this a big open circle and a triangle. And I always loved looking at Leo. I'd get up in the middle of the night, and the window was perfect for seeing it. It was excellent. Good old Leo. And then, of course, the two dots, Castor and Pollock, that's in Pisces, is it? Is that Pisces? No, wait, the twins. It's not. Pisces is a fish. Capricorn and Sagittarius are generally on the horizon. I never really get to see them up high, I don't think. Well, they must come across the ecliptic. They must come right in front, but I don't know when they do it. Some stars you only see in the summer and some you see in the winter, because our view, like whether we're on top of the Earth or on the side of the Earth, no, whether we're on an axis that turns like this. So I don't know how. It's beyond me. I can't figure things out right now. I got this jet lag and this sleepy thing happening that's messing up my being able to think. But that's the way it is sometimes, you know. Sometimes you can think and sometimes you can't think. Sometimes you stand up and get dizzy and sometimes you don't. Sometimes your knees hurt and sometimes they don't. And every other thing. That's what we were talking about in church today, was the things that we go through and how it's okay to be very honest with Heavenly Father. You know, like we wish things would end. Oh, please let it be over, let it be over. And they don't. And we think, oh, well, has God abandoned us? There is no God. Why would I have to go through this? Other people don't go through this. I'm going through this. But we have to let God prevail. Do you know that's the real definition of the word Israel, is let God prevail? That's the real translation of it. Let God prevail. I'm really tired. I should carry a little energy drink around me and have a sip every few hours. And then I would wake up. I don't drink coffee or tea, so I don't have that lovely caffeine charge. Oh, but I made an awesome dinner. Oh, I ate it all. Look at that. It's all gone. So in it is onion tops. You know, have those onions that keep sprouting and growing. They were this long again, so I cut them all off, put them back on the counter. We had a problem with fruit flies. We have like a plague of fruit flies. It's amazing you could see through the window for the fruit flies. But I vacuumed them all up, and then I went outside and I emptied the vacuum cleaner. I still have tons of them. They were on the leaves and on the floor and on the windows and on the doors and on the walls. And every time I turn around, there's more fruit flies. So my grandchildren were here a few weeks ago, about a month ago now, and they said, there's so many bugs in your house. There's too many bugs. You know, it's just fruit flies, but I don't want my grandchildren to not like my house because I have bugs. But you have to really be diligent to vacuuming them up.
So, Nancy, can
yes.
I open the crock pot? Or
Yep.
How do you do that?
Just turn it. Turn the top handle.
No pressurize or anything?
No, the Instant Pot. It's keeping everything warm. So in it is squash, the kind that's like this, my favorite kind, and onion tops, and dried onions, and garlic. And cabbage. And it is so good. Oh, and lentils. Pile of lentils in there too. And water. Oh, and coconut. Not coconut cream, but it comes in this jar. It's kind of hardened coconut. I don't remember what it is. But so tasty. Yeah, I'm getting tired. I guess I gotta go. I have to go for a walk. Hey, yeah, I could just go on the deck. I like the deck. You know, I was thinking, this deck is a perfect pen. Like, I could have an animal out there. What if I could have a horse and keep it on, you notice how I have to talk really quietly. I could keep it out there on the shady deck under the shelter and give him a coat in the winter. He could walk around the deck. I could just close off the gate, make gates, you know. Wouldn't that be awesome? I mean, they're not going to wreck it. It's not like a pig's. Amen. That was Willem with the soup. So what do you think?
Delicious.
Isn't that good?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even put any spices in it. It's awesome. I like cooking quick food. With Oma Lily, we always sat at the table, which is very nice. And, you know, you can have some conversations, but I don't know. I don't really like sitting at the table. Sometimes I do. Sometimes it's okay. Anyway, so I like to just sit in my chair, then I can do something else at the same time. But we're supposed to have family atmosphere at the table. We're supposed to talk to one another. That doesn't really work so well because Willem eats 10 times faster than me and then he's done and he's ready to go do something else. Sometimes when we eat, we sit around and watch television. But I haven't turned the television on yet. That was because I unpacked. I got all of the unpacking done and my house was so tidy when Mary Jane came home, and so I'm trying to keep it that tidy and even more so. And after being at Lily's, in Holland, less is more. And so I see all the clutter in the bathroom, and so I put everything away except exactly what is necessary to be in there. That was kind of a cool idea. And I've just been doing that here and there all over the house. I'm not keeping all my stuff on the table in the living room, but instead keeping it on another table. Should it even go on a table? Perhaps it should go in a drawer. I have a plan. I have 2 little cabinets with lots of drawers. What if I were to consolidate them and put them in this cabinet? This doesn't have anything in it. I could put all those things in here, all my wires or whatever. My mother's desk upstairs has also got things in it that could be elsewhere. So I'm just thinking about these things and trying to eliminate a lot of clutter. Kind of fun, except I can never actually get rid of anything. All I can do is rearrange it, put it so it's not where it is. I think that this is a wonderful pasture, you know. I think it's an excellent idea. I have to think about it some more. Consider it and then forget about it because it won't work. I think it's a lovely idea. Big pen. You can even ride it around the deck. See, in Minecraft, I have these tall mushrooms, and they're huge, enormous flat surfaces with this big, long stem. And so I have been, you know, I can make a fence around it. Fence it in, and then I put animals there. And they can't leave. I like free animals too. I don't always fence them in. Isn't that an interesting idea? They never had a barn before. Oh well. Okay, so Willem is done with his food. So does that mean the television is going on?
Would you like it to be?
It's what you would like.
I'm not particularly
Not particularly interested in it?
at the moment.
Okay.
So you can do this more longer or
Okay. Do this more longer.
whatever.
See, we're picking up Dutch. More longer.
No,
No, Dutch
and
doesn't
it's not
say.
that the Dutch was never getting it either.
I am so tired. We should go for a walk. Are you exhausted? Like you could go to sleep now? Like it's
I'm not gonna
bedtime?
go to sleep. No,
But you feel like you'd like to?
not particularly. I'm a little
Oh,
bit
good.
tired, but I'm not really.
My
But
eyes are
I just had an energy
drooping.
drink on driving on the way back.
Oh, that's what I need.
Yeah.
I'll have to have a little bit.
So. Yep.
I'll wake myself up and we can go for a walk. You want to go for a walk?
Okay.
It's all flooded down there.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go in there with my.
No, no. We
Steve
can go and look at Pole Island
Mm-hmm.
and then come back. And our chairs on the bridge will be the cement bridge. The chairs there will be fine. We can sit in the chairs.
Yeah.
Should we
Right.
wish to do such a thing. Oh, wait. I'm supposed to be playing Minecraft in a few minutes. My grandson is having breakfast. I know, it's 1:30. It's breakfast time there, though.
They have their own separate time. So.
Everybody, yeah, their own time zone. Yes, teenagers have a different time zone. It's Pacific water time zone. It's way out there later than us. Or maybe they're on Vietnamese time zone, which is 12 hours difference. Or no, 24 hours. No, 12 hours.
Yeah, it's 24 hours different.
20.
It's a way to live longer.
How come?
You just go to the Vietnamese time zone every day, and every day you're younger, because it's earlier, right?
It's later.
Well, you go back and it's earlier.
So
Never-
if you
never
go,
mind.
if
Never
you
mind.
head east, you're going earlier.
Right, whatever, yeah.
So you have to fly to if you fly around the world, every day you fly around the world, you gain a day.
Right.
So you could be before Australia before you know it.
No, that's an interesting thought. Yeah. So you
Tired of Australia being-
You keep flying around the local day after day after day.
I'm tired of Australia always being first. All I have to do is fly around
No,
once,
no,
and then
Fiji
I'm
is
first.
I think, or whatever.
It's in front of me.
Okay.
So I'd like to be in front of it. So if I fly in an airplane and I get in front of it, then I'm first.
Right.
If I go to Fiji, I'm first. But then when I leave Fiji, I'm not first anymore.
So you have to live in Fiji, and then you can live forever. Yeah.
That's what I wanted. I wanted to live forever.
Sorry, we just.
So I wanted to ask you, they were talking about carbon capture. What can you, chemistry speaking, what combines with carbon to become something else? Everything. There's so many things that combine with carbon, aren't they?
Yeah, well, okay. I think the way when they say carbon capture, it is not making it react with something, I think necessarily.
But why couldn't you do that? If you change carbon into something else,
Yeah,
then
well, I
you've
think
captured it.
I think it takes too much energy to do that. So
To blend, so carbon will not automatically blend with another
no,
molecule
no,
that gets near it.
Not really, no.
You have to heat it up or something.
Okay, so you're carbon dioxide. That's what you start with, not carbon, right? Carbon is just one atom. Carbon dioxide is one atom with carbon atom, two oxygens. That's what you start with. That's what you want to remove.
So what if you break up the carbon atom into two other things? Hydrogen and oxygen?
Yeah, the problem is, I think the energy to do that is very large. So in order to, you have to expend a lot of energy. And where are you getting the energy from? You have to get it from
Okay, so there's carbon in the atmosphere,
carbon dioxide.
carbon dioxide. Now, does it at any point float away?
No. It's
Okay.
heavy.
So what happens when the sun beats on it? Does the sun warm it up and change it into anything else? I mean, the sun is quite an energy source.
Yeah, but it doesn't.
Doesn't react with carbon.
No, it does not.
You don't heat it up and add milk and you have a cake.
No, sorry.
Okay. Well,
Also,
how
when
are they talking about capturing it then? Get out their little box. Vacuum.
I think they.
I know they could dig a hole all the way through the earth, and then they could put a vacuum through it and up to this into the atmosphere, and then they could vacuum all the hydrogen, and then you could shut off the other end. So you got this big hole, and you vacuum carbon into it, and then you shut the hole, and then it can't get out, and then you make another hole.
I see. Well, they have been trying to somehow incorporate it into the ground.
How about if you put it into something like a spaceship? You compress it, you suck it up and condense it and send it out into outer space.
Yeah, the costs are prohibitive.
All we have to do
So
is get rid of our gravity for a minute. Just turn off the gravity.
How do you get a spaceship into the air? How does it work? You burn fuel.
It floats. Haven't you ever seen an airplane? They just float around up
It
there.
doesn't have to be carbon fuel. So yeah, it's probably something different. Okay, so you could do that. It's just cost prohibitive.
Well then, my next idea. What was my next idea? I had an awesome next idea that you spoke over me, and I couldn't. Now I've forgotten it. Can you
So it
remember?
can't be that important then.
It was a good one. So, gravity. We just need to turn off gravity. So, if we could isolate some part of the Earth and put it in an anti-gravity, put anti-gravity above the gravity, theoretically everything should float away.
Okay, well, first of all, I'm not sure that there is such a thing as anti-gravity. And I'm not sure that if something like it exists.
I don't think you really understand the gravity of the situation, Willem.
I see.
Oh, that was a pun.
Uh,
You don't understand the gravity of the situation.
Congratulations.
It's good to make a pun.
You finally understood your own joke. All right.
I love being
No,
married to you.
like in seriousness, lots of bright minds have thought about this.
Have thought these very same thoughts. You see, you have to have a bright mind to think these thoughts, right? Is that what
Yeah,
you're
but-
saying,
but
isn't
in
it?
spite of all that, we are not in America. Well, anyway, let me be a little bit closer. We still have a big problem and haven't solved the problem.
What we need is a gravity switch is what we really need. That's all they have to create, is a gravity switch. If they could just turn off the gravity, but they don't have to turn all of the gravity off, they just have to turn it down so the stuff on the outside can float away. Now, I know that there is possible because you can put, how else do they make a chamber where people can float and pretend they're on the moon? There's no gravity in there.
Well, they can
Case,
only
I rest my case. They did it. Does that take a lot of energy?
Well, the only way you can have a room without gravity is to send it out in outer space.
Well,
Not on the Earth.
no, but this is how the astronauts.
Yeah, in a spaceship.
No, they don't get in the spaceship. They're on Earth when they're in these floaty tanks, where they're floating about in airlessness. Or
Well,
if you take away the air, you still have gravity.
yeah, you still have gravity. You didn't get rid of gravity. The only thing what you can do is make them float in water.
Willem, have you not seen these pictures like on television of these astronauts? They're doing all these stuff with no gravity. They're floating around.
Yeah, in spaceships. I haven't seen anything else.
So they're in a spaceship on Earth when they're
In
doing
spaceships
it.
or in a space station, you know.
So they have to actually be in a place without gravity.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Well, I think that I could probably drum up a lot of support for my idea. I mean, just think, less gravity, we'd all lay west.
But trebuchet.
Trebuchet. Yes. I think that there's a way. Where there's a will, there's a way, Willem.
I see.
That's what I was always told. People have always said you can't do it. If you come across, my sister said, if everybody is saying you can't do it, check. You might be able to.
Yeah, sure. That's possible, sure.
And the smart generation coming along after us,
But
they'll
there are
figure it
certain
out.
There are certain things I don't think you can do, like the perpetual motion machine. That is a.
And was I asking about a perpetual motion machine?
You're talking about everything. There's always something you can do anything you want. Set your mind to. That's what you're going to say. But people have wasted lots of time from trying the perpetual motion machine. But they go against the fundamental well-established principles of physics.
What about time travel?
Maybe, but maybe, yeah.
What about wormholes?
Yeah, maybe.
How about starships, stargates?
Yeah. It may be possible. I don't know enough of physics to say it is not possible, or it's just, or maybe it is.
You've always liked physics a lot. You didn't get a minor in physics, did you?
No, I got some courses in physics. Parts of it. I got a course, like an undergraduate courses in physics, the general sort of physics stuff, and then I got a graduate course in electricity.
Hey, we could go back to school together. You could do a major in physics, and I could finish my psych. You love physics.
I'm intrigued with the theory of everything stuff, the particle physics, quantum mechanics, and all that sort of stuff. Like, there's lots of stuff that is very intriguing in there, and it'd be good to find out what people know, what they have come up with, you know. That's very interesting, but it is a lot of work. Even understanding what I have thought up so far, it's a lot of work.
And that has never stopped you before.
I mean, whatever, yeah.
Well, we have to do our mission first.
Yeah.
We still haven't heard back from them.
No.
We don't know for sure that we're called.
No.
So maybe we won't be going. But they all seem to think we will.
Yeah.
Even though we haven't.
The only thing they still do is to solve the trailer thing, right?
They have to solve that.
Yeah, but if they
Well, I think they're going to get it. That's what he said, the
Okay,
stake
fair enough.
person.
right. If they get it,
Then we will live with less. Less is more.
yeah.
We will still be able to own all this stuff here. Yay! But we can go somewhere where it's not in our face.
Right.
And we just have the woods. That would be fun. I hope I like it. I hope it's fun. I mean, it's kind of an interesting concept. It's not like being a regular missionary that goes and knocks on doors.
Right.
Or even a couple that goes and attends the church and helps inactives or something.
Yeah.
It'll be a whole different thing. It'll be lots of exercise. I bet they have a riding lawnmower for mowing the lawns.
Yeah, maybe so.
Well, I hope I'm going to get a turn.
Or even our lawnmower we have now is just not too bad. Like we got the self-propelled thing and electrical and.
I think there'll be a sit on it lawnmower out there
Maybe
for all
so,
the
yeah.
expand because there's so much to do.
It depends on the terrain. If it's really flat, then that would be fine. If it's very hilly, then the riding all over might be difficult.
And I think
to
the
manage.
places that have to be mown are pretty flat. You've been there, right?
No.
Oh. Hey, we could go down there and have a look. That would be fun.
Oh.
I'm interested mostly in this path.
Oh, by the way, it reminds me. Shall we organize a temple trip again? Temple trip.
Yes, if you want to do that. But
Okay.
now I'm babysitting this weekend, Friday, Saturday.
Okay.
I think they sleep over Friday night and Saturday night.
Okay. So it'll be a week after.
Okay.
I'm not sure when. I have to find out when. I think.
Be nice if we
What-
could
what-
just
what-
go earlier in the
What
week.
would you? Yeah, but there's probably nothing open, right? Like you need to.
Thursday.
Yeah, the guys.
It's probably full though, but it might
Yeah.
not be.
Right. That's what I think. That's what I meant. That maybe.
Okay, well look it up, see what you can find.
Yeah.
That'll
okay.
be all right. Thank you.
All right, we'll do that.
All right then. So there.
So there.
So there.
Yeah, I will do that.
My hair's really long now. So interesting to see what I look like now that I couldn't believe how different it is when you can't see yourself in the mirror. All the mirrors were up here because Dutch people are so tall. And I'd have to tippy-toe just to see my eyes. It was strange. It was very strange.
Yeah. However, there's also people that are not very tall, like lots of people from different origins.
Well, your mom must be tall, so she's got everything up high.
Yeah.
But even the china, or even the bathroom medicine cabinet, the mirror in there, that's up high. Everything was high. Oh well.
But it might be part of the apartment.
Yeah, I was thinking that, but then the
But
one.
again, the apartment is old, so we weren't always that tall. Like there's something about the last few decades. Like when I grew up, I was one of the tallest persons around. Not many people were taller. So a lot of people were about the same height, but not many people were actually significantly taller.
Did you ever have blonde hair?
I think it was dark blonde, and then it became darker and darker. Then it became lighter and lighter again.
Until now, it's a glow in the dark.
Whatever.
It was sure interesting being in Holland.
Mhm.
I think my favorite part of it was the bricks.
Yeah, keep mentioning the bricks.
I really liked them. I liked that the streets were made of bricks and the bicycle paths were made of bricks. And you parked on bricks, and the houses, the buildings were made of bricks, and the old buildings were made of really tiny bricks with not cracks but weathering. They looked, like a stone that's been weathered a lot. And I marveled that, like that church that was from 1200.
I think it was that old, yeah.
So 800 years old, right?
Yeah, 800.
How come it hasn't ever fallen down? Has there ever been an earthquake in Holland?
We don't really have earthquakes in Holland.
Or a tornado?
No, we do have hurricanes sometimes.
So how can a building stand for 800 years? What kind of technology did they use?
Well, I think just stones and brick is pretty heavy and pretty solid, okay? So if it survives, most.
But aren't there stone and brick buildings that are demolished by, I guess, earthquakes?
We don't have earthquakes in Holland. Everything we didn't used to. I don't think the only earthquake they get is when they take out the natural gas out of the ground, and then the ground is sinking, and then it produces something similar to earthquakes, but that doesn't count.
Hey, look, there's 10 people here.
And then if they do,
nobody's saying anything.
and if they do, it's a big problem. Like in that area, in the northeast, the houses, the cracks in the foundations, and and all sort of stuff, and they want to be compensated, and you show them like the cracks are pretty bad.
Oh, so they get cracks in these old buildings.
Yeah, because it's, all of a sudden the ground is sinking. It's almost like an earthquake.
So that does happen in Holland.
Yeah, but only because we take all the natural gas out of the ground.
Oh, I see.
If you have
Okay,
that
I
set,
see
it would be go on for centuries.
Yeah, well, I know all these things are old because they're old, but it just started occurring to me, but why do they last? Like things here. I mean, as we drove through the little villages today, I could see why a lot of these buildings are not going to last. They're made of that plastic siding on 2x4s,
Mm-hmm. But yeah, stone can last a long time, and it's heavy, so it's not easily knocked over by wind.
So in Greece, like the Colosseum, was it earthquakes that broke those things?
The Colosseum was in Rome. I'm not sure. There are some earthquakes in Italy. I'm not sure that's what it was.
What else could it have been? Old?
Well, Rome was eventually run over by kind of pretty primitive Germanic tribes, and so they might not have cared for that structure. They might even have knocked it over. I don't know. I'm not sure how they.
Yeah, how can you?
And it's a longer time, right? That's BC, right? It's kind of.
It's older.
It's older, yeah.
Older than the 800.
Yeah. Like 2000, around there or whatever. Yeah. 1600 to over 2000. Greece also has these structures. Now many of the structures are still standing. If you look at the Parthenon, at Hill in Athens, A lot of it is still standing and seems to be pretty solid. It may be that, warring other nations conquering Greece might have knocked it over. And they might also have,
Oh, maybe they used trebuchets and a big stone themselves.
or maybe it's earthquakes. I don't know. It's something to look into. It's interesting to
Okay.
try
Well,
and
I
find it
have
out.
to be excused for a few minutes. So I have to go. I'll see you later, guys.